After 4 years of planning, postponing, and almost giving up, we finally made it here to Sapporo. This is the barkada trip that made it out of the group chat. And there's no better time to do that than to go to the 2025 Snow Festival, where the city turns into a winter wonderland. This is just part 1 of the Sapporo series, and before we dive in, let me do a quick intro. This trip kicks off with a 5-hour layover in Narita. I'm traveling with my high school barkada plus their plus ones. It's our first international trip together. It's our first time riding ANA.
So much legroom.
Mid-flight, the pilot announced a delay due to heavy snowfall and runway congestion. I'm not gonna lie, we started getting a little worried when our flight time got extended by an hour. But as we landed, the snowfall was just so intense as you can see in the video. We landed smoothly and no unexpected ice skating for the plane today.
Pinawisan ba kilikili mo sa landing? Ayaw tumigil.
We took the train to the city and grabbed a Go taxi to our Airbnb. At this point, we'd been awake since 5 a.m. and now it's past 10 p.m. with no dinner. That's important because things are about to go south. We arrive in our Airbnb and watch the taxi drive away. Then it hits us. Gio left his backpack inside with his passport.
You can't even message from a while ago.
Shit. That's my passport.
For context, the first thing Gio did when we got off wasn't to grab his stuff. It was to build a snowball and throw it to Gamo.
Great footage, guys. Great footage. But may embassy ba dito?
Of course.
In every city?
In every... Oh. I thought...
Oh.
I meant... What I'm trying to say is from the airport. I mean, from where we're gonna come from. Don't you think so?
I don't know, but I'm pretty confident that Gio will be able to get his stuff back.
He will.
After a long day, we finally grabbed some dinner at 7-Eleven and made it back to our Airbnb. I'm pretty annoyed at myself that I didn't film a proper tour because this place was perfect for a big group.
Say
4
hi.
bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a massive living and dining area.
Ito yung naganap ng host. Ay, naganap ng host. Bukas na nga lang.
It's a new day, we're finally well rested, and most importantly, we are starving.
Uy, si Hailey Bieber! Ayan, nilalamig!
First stop is Parco Mall for lunch. We ate at Yoshimi, a roast beef specialty spot, and got their bestsellers, including the Wagyu Yakiniku. I would say it's a solid first meal here in Sapporo. Also, the Wagyu was insanely tender.
Lambot mo yan.
After lunch, we went to Mermaid Coffee Roasters. They roast their own beans, and if you're a fan of specialty coffee, they also do free taste. We went for their coffee with Hokkaido milk, and honestly, it did not disappoint. It was super creamy and just the right amount of sweetness. We got iced coffee, and fun fact, because of the cold weather, the ice didn't actually melt at all. There was zero dilution. We were basically drinking the same strong coffee from start to finish.
Closer!
While Gio and Chen were still dealing with the missing backpack situation, the rest of us went ahead to our first sightseeing stop.
Hello.
Saan park tayo pupunta? Ay nako, maling tao! Marian, saan park tayo pupunta?
Shiroi Chocolate Factory.
After all the travel, the food, chaos, time finally slowed down and we could finally take it all in. Coming from a tropical country, this whole snowy landscape felt unreal. We entered Shiroi Kobito Park and it looked something like out of a storybook. Snow-covered trees, European-style buildings, and that soft winter glow. We took photos, danced around a little bit, and just enjoyed the snow. This was the moment I really put my camera's weatherproofing to the test. The snowfall was intense and I was nervous about using it, but the thought of not capturing this moment, that wasn't an option. So I went for it and hoped my camera could handle it. There was even a mini show on top of one of the buildings, adding to the whole magical vibe.
Ayan na, ayan na.
Okay, the show was just okay, but everything else was perfect.
Grabe. Ganda.
After that, we headed inside the chocolate factory and grabbed some snacks. And finally, reunited with Gio. Gio finally caught up with us with a huge smile. He announced that he got his backpack and passport back.
Ayun o.
So Gio emailed the taxi company and after visiting around what I think are 2 police stations, he finally found his backpack. If this had happened anywhere else, it might have been a nightmare. But thank God we were in Japan.
This train is bound for Sapporo.
We headed out to find a place for dinner and the snowfall was really coming down. But for Gamo, who's used to Canada's freezing temperatures, it was nothing. He was only wearing 2 layers and he wasn't wearing any gloves. Since it was freezing, ramen was the obvious choice, and what better place than to have it than the famous Sapporo Ramen Alley. Fun fact, this alley has been around since the 1950s and is home to some of the best miso ramen spots in Japan. It's a must visit for food lovers and we knew it would be packed, especially during the snow festival season. We picked a random shop and luckily we only had to wait around 15 minutes.
Look at this.
And this, spicy.
Yeah. And this, the
The
spicy
spicy.
miso na like.
And while we're in Sapporo, you drink Sapporo. And of course, ramen isn't complete without gyoza. The ramen had a distinct miso flavor, something we weren't really used to, but in a good way. It also came with corn, butter, and crab, which made it even more unique. Like, good different, like... After eating, we went back for a big day tomorrow. We had a tour at 11 a.m., but before that, only me, Mai, Renzo, and Ron were up for an early trip to Nijo Market. Nijo Market is a small but well-known seafood market in Sapporo, packed with fresh local seafood, crab, uni, scallops, and more.
Ikaw, ano trip mo kainin?
Ha? Sushi sana.
Sushi. Parang gusto mo makdo eh.
We wandered around looking for a place to eat and ended up finding this small tucked-away restaurant. Of course, we had to get some sushi bowls, not McDonald's. All I can say is wow, the sushi bowls were just so fresh, the kind that just melts in your mouth. Exactly what we were hoping for at Nijo Market.
Ikaw. Reaction.
But guess what? This isn't the best sushi we had in this whole trip, and I'll talk about it in the next video. Renzo and Ron dropped us off at the tour meetup since they weren't able to sign up on time. We went on a Klook tour to visit the Ningle Terrace, Biei Blue Pond, and the Shirahige Falls. First stop was the snowmobile area. We then signed up for the ride, so we just played around in the snow instead. By the time we arrived, the snowfall was already super heavy, so we just hung around to take some pictures and videos. And Gamo even went to go on to do his favorite winter activity, sledding. Next, we visited this isolated Christmas tree.
So why are we here?
That tree? That tree is lonely?
Oh, I thought it was that tree.
No, we don't know if it's that tree, ah.
I had no idea
that tree.
what we were even supposed to be looking at, but judging by the crowd, it was definitely a big deal. I mean, who knew a tree could be so IG worthy?
Hindi, naka-camera naman to eh. Video record.
Then onto our third stop, the Shirahige Falls. Oops, caught my trying to throw a snowball at me. Sa third stop na kami ng Klook tour, and we're supposedly seeing the waterfalls now.
Where's the waterfalls? That one, I'm assuming.
Waterfalls.
Tonight will be the night that I will fall asleep over again.
Then I asked Gamo this question that caught him off guard. Na-fall ka na ba?
Alright.
Wait a minute. What did he just say? Na-fall ka na ba?
Alright. Almost.
Na? Taka na. Sabi ko ba yung name?
Leo.
Joke lang.
Okay, dito. Wow. Then we had to wake Gamo up from fantasy. Gamo, ano masabi mo about sa tour na to? Disappointing? Medyo disappointing yung tour.
Tatanong nga si Bob if it's worth it.
Hindi. Most of the time we're just in the bus.
The bus nga. So may isa pang na-cancel, so you're supposed to go to like a Christmas village.
That's like one of the main highlights.
The highlights, yeah.
And they just cancelled it because we were running out of time. Disappointed, tired, and happy at the same time. Finally, we're at our last stop, the Biei Blue Pond.
This is a pond? This was a pond?
It's winter, so the entire pond is frozen and covered in snow.
Gio, move to the left.
When they turned on the lights though, it actually did start to glow blue, and it looked pretty nice. The tour wasn't exactly what we expected, but at the end of the day, what matters is that we're all together and making the most out of the situation. Then we got dropped off at Sapporo TV Tower and finally reunited with everyone. Somehow, we're still full of energy. I guess that's just how it is when you're with the right people. Then it started snowing heavily again, and honestly, it made for some of the most beautiful shots we've taken on this trip. These are moments that you look back on for the rest of your life.
Yay! Mabuhay ang bagong kasal!
Tapos na photoshoot. Then we looked for a place for dinner. Then Renzo kinda took over from there. Boss, saan tayo? Tour guide natin ngayon.
Curry King. Soup curry is a Hokkaido recipe. Di ko alam kung kasya tayo doon, but we'll give it a go. Tapos pagbukas niyan.
Doon na.
So I'm sorry, taken over. Apparently sold out na yung Soup Curry King. So we just found this random restaurant and we got this whole row for ourselves.
We ended up in a restaurant called Sapporo Ramen, Hara, Genten. And I had no complaints about having ramen 2 nights in a row because of this cold weather. That's it for part 1 of the Sapporo series. In the coming videos, we're gonna feature Otaru, Sapporo Beer Museum, snowboarding, Roy's Chocolate Factory, and of course, checking out the Snow Festival. See you in the next one.